Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic which we're gonna cover is going to be divided into different parts of videos. So like today will be part 1 and maybe a few days later I will drop part 2 and all. The reason of doing that is that because otherwise I won't get any further content and also the fact that I'm using a free screen recorder which only allows me to record screen for 10 minutes. So I'm being very honest with you. So extra thumbs up for that, right? So now coming back to the topic, right? So today's topic is going to be DX API, right? Pega DX API. If you would have the people in the Pega world would have you would be familiar with this word, right? So before jumping onto the video, right, what is API, right? First we should know that. So in a very layman term, if I have to explain, API is something which allows two systems to communicate, right? So basically it's a kind of a protocol which helps us to two different system, maybe irrespective of their backend, right? They can connect with each other, right? They can transfer the data and all, right? We can share the data. So that's what API is, right? Now Pega has done, like, so like Pega has done like what? If we want to share the data with other system from our Pega, we can do that, right? So Pega has created certain APIs, OOTB APIs, which we can share with the external system, and we can share our Pega data, right? So that's what is called as DX API. So coming to the DX, I have already opened a window. If I'll show you, so there are two types of APIs basically. Traditional DX API, the one this is also called as the version 1, while the Constellation DX API, which is called the version 2, right? So let's go through the points first. So it is designed for mass supply use case, right? Then you can go through the documentation. I will attach the link in the description below. So in coming to the second point, use known and established UI rules. Like it is since it is based on traditional one, so it uses harness, section and control, while Constellation, as the name itself suggests, it is for the newer version, right, which supports in which we are using Constellation skin and all those stuff. So there it is mostly dependent on the view based, right? It has certain more number of APIs as compared to the previous ones. I'm just giving you a gist of it. You can go through this documentation and read, of course. And like earlier, when you use traditional DX API, the number of calls made in this one is kind of more than as compared to the Constellation one. Like suppose if you are creating a case using traditional DX API, it might take 5 to 6 calls, while Constellation does it in a single call, API call, right? So you can go through this documentation. Now coming back to Pega, right? So how do we see all the APIs, right? So if you see over here, we have a question mark called resources, right? Once you click on this, an option comes up, right? So these are the list of options. If you see, we have an option called Pega API. We'll click on that. It opens up a new tab, right? And by default, you see there is a drop down which is selected as Constellation DX APIs, right? So let's give it a moment to load. It's kind of a slow. I don't know why. Maybe because of a network. Let's give it a moment. Okay. So perfect. Now it has loaded, right? So now coming to the drop down, right? It says service package, right? If you'll see, there are 4 options. Traditional API, which I was talking about, which is also called the DX API version 1. This is the second version, and the other 2 are for traditional APIs and developable. We are in this video, we're gonna cover this traditional API, just only the basics, like completely basic of this. So this is what is traditional API. I'll click on this, so it will load again all the set of APIs which is present under this package, right? So if you see, the base URL is given over here. This is of my systems. If you see over here as well, right? Now coming to the list, see what Pega has done. It has already divided these APIs into categories. Like if we want to data related to attachment, so all this come under attachment, right? Then case types related, then assignment related cases, then so on and so forth, right? Perfect. Now before we try to explore this, I will go over here and I will show you the service package which is responsible for this. If you click on records, under integration resources comes service package, right? If you select the service package over here, if you can see, there is a service package named API. This is the one which is responsible for all the DX API related stuff, right? So over here right now, we have checked the required authentication of the checkbox, right? So if I am just gonna go over here, right, let me show you a use of it, right? So suppose I'm gonna use get case details, right? So over here, if you open any one of them, you will get all the parameters required and the responses, what are the possible responses you can get from the API, right? Pega has already given us all the stuff. So like if it is okay, then you're gonna get all this stuff. If it is an unauthorized, then you're gonna get 401 error, 403 is for forbidden and all. So Pega has given all this, everything. So if you wanted to try, you just need to click on try it now, right? So suppose I have a case ID, right? Now let me give, I'm just giving for the demo purpose, I'm giving a wrong one, right? Just to show you something, I'm giving U3, right? And I'm click on execute. Once I click on execute, if you'll see, I got an error. I will be getting an error, right? It is asking me to sign up, right? Because over there, if you'll go over here, because I have clicked on require authentication, so it is asking me to authenticate myself, right? So just for the demo purpose, I am unchecking this checkbox. Maybe in the later video I will show you how to proceed with the different type of authentication. If you see over here, we have over 2.0 and all, which are kind of very good to see. So in the next video purpose I will show you, but for this, just for the demo purpose, I'm unchecking this one so that we can see the basics of it, right? Now coming back over here, now if you see, now if I'll click on execute, it won't ask me for the pop-up, right? It doesn't ask my name and password, right? Because it is without any authentication. But if you see over here, just to show you, perfect. Okay, if you see over here, right now I'm getting a 404 error, right? It says case not found for the given parameters ID. Now why is it so, right? Because over here the case ID doesn't mean the PYID, which we are familiar with. It basically means the PZ-INS key, right? So for more clear understanding, let me click, I have a case type, right? This is the name of the case type, utility TUI. Okay, so let me create a case for first, right? I will just create a quick new case. Okay, perfect. So this is the name, like let me give the name anujyadav. Okay, and email, let me give it the word request.response, which again I am telling you that you can use it to reach out to me, and if we can connect over this. If you have any doubt or if you have any suggestions for me, please feel free to reach out to me using this email ID. And I'm giving a gender as male, and I'm saving it, right? For the moment now I have just saved it, I have not completed it, right? So the case ID U1001, right? So let me take the PZ-INS key of this by going to the PY work page of the case, right? I'm going to, and I'm just, let me take this PZ-INS key right over there. So I'm going to copy this and done, right? Now if I'll go over here and paste the case ID over here, right? Just a second. And if I'll execute it, right, you will see I'm getting a 200 response, and over here you will be able to see what the information which I have put, right? See, gender male, name Anuj, right? What else I had put? Email, right? Let me see if email is there. And while the other properties are filled by Pega itself, okay, this is the email, right? request.response.ig@gmail.com. So this is how you use the basically the this DX APIs. You can also use Postman for further if you want to explore more, right? For these URLs, what you need basically is to just to share these with the external system, whichever you want to connect with, and they can explore it, and we can send the data, right? Similarly, we can create a case, right? And also for other collaboration data and so on so forth. So this is what is basically Pega DX API is all about, right? This is just a gist of it. Similarly, we have Constellation. If you come under here, right, you will see there are more number of APIs as compared to the one in the traditional. If you see, we have so many APIs under case itself, right? If you see, like there are so many APIs, while if you go under traditional, we had only few of them. And also see, if you will see only there are how many, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 of them, right? While if you saw that they are under Constellation, there are more number of APIs. So we're gonna explore all of them bit in the later on videos. So for now, today this is the one. Like I would also like to mention that creating a case using this API is kind of tricky, so that's also I'm going to cover in the next video. For the moment, this is what it is. Please go through the documentation and feel free to reach out to me, and if you have any suggestion for me, please feel free to give it. Thank you.